Back with our MD, Mike Whitlow, this morning. Mike, good morning.
Morning. How are you?
I'm good, Mike. Look, big week for ECR with the start of antimony drilling at Bailieston in Victoria. Look, firstly, just give us some background as to the reanalysis we undertook last year.
Yeah, I mean, look, the wider interest in antimony has been growing for quite some time. We've obviously covered it quite extensively since joining the company, and of course, prices have gone up quite extensively as well. So, based on the wider demand and some of our sort of peers being contacted in particular for and with interest for the antimony, we decided to do some reanalysis. So. Adam and the team, went back down to the yard and revisited the core that we had from our 2021-22 drilling campaign, and the best of those results were submitted. The PXRF was already indicating very sort of high recordings, and yeah, I mean, we obviously announced to the market last year that we had a pretty impressive zero point 0.3 of a meter at 32%, which was yeah extraordinary, really. So.
It was, and you've been speaking to Adam on a regular basis. He's been busy out in the field in the last month, 6 weeks with some pre-drilling preparation activities. Just give us a bit of an idea as to what he's been up to.
Well, yeah, look, I mean, obviously we're going back out there for slightly different reasons. The initial work that was conducted within that tenement area was primarily focused at gold. That gold hasn't disappeared. We've had some pretty interesting results. Um, Adam went back out in the field, as you say, just to prepare for drilling, looking at locations and suitability for this campaign. We, budgeted for this last year, and yeah, I mean, he decided that it would be worth taking some additional samples and rock chips, and those have been submitted to laboratory, and those results have come back with a little under 50% of those results were highly anomalous in antimony, and over 50% were highly anomalous in gold. So, a lot of gold, lots of antimony. So that surface expression now really is supporting and giving us confidence of what we expect to find subsurface, and it correlates with the subsurface result that we announced last year.
And with this campaign now underway, Mike, what are we hoping to see? What are we hoping to learn from this program?
Yeah, look, I think it's about getting a better structural understanding of what's going on. We're looking for some, consistency with further strong antimony grades and results. We've got Adam with us. He's out in the field at Bailieston, and perhaps he can give us a bit more of a detailed insight as to what we're doing and why we're doing it.
About 12 months ago, we revisited a lot of our old drill holes, found there was certain sections which we have drilled which actually had anomalous antimony, and one of the best one of those best intercepts was in hole 19, which came back at 30 centimeters at 32%, and also in addition to the antimony, we actually got 5 grams of gold ton gold. So this is a huge upside there. You know, in just to compare with some of the other sort of mining that's been happening in the area here. So Costa Field, which is run and owned by Mandalay Resources, it's about 60 kilometres to the west of where I'm standing right now. That's one of the main, or one of the only producers in the Western world, so to speak, who are producing a antimony concentrate. And, they're often mining veins that are, 20, 30% antimony, fair bit of gold in them as well. But, they're all looking at these narrow vein, 20, 30 centimetre veins there as well. So, our targets here at Bailieston are very similar in that sort of regard. So, it's all narrow vein, but as long as the grade's there, then there's a chance of it being something that could have some economic worth. We've had previous intercepts right in the vicinity where we're drilling now, going 30 grams plus, over a sort of short intervals. But, with the current gold price, it's, very good grades, really, and it's very sought after. So there's a very good chance to have hit not just the antimony veins, but also the gold veins. So, I think just it's sort of reinvigorating this Bailieston area, and I think there's a lot to be looked at here, and it's got a lot of value here to add to ECR's portfolio?
So we know there's a lot of interest. We know there's a lot of activity, and we know there's a lot of synergies between both, our counterparties in the area and what we've got in the ground. And of course, directors of companies only ever talk about the positives and rarely sort of focus on the negatives. But I think that the presence of gold, and given how high the gold price has come in even just the last sort of few months, let alone few years, supports revisiting just for the gold alone. The fact that we've got this presence now of an extraordinarily high grade of antimony, it kind of gives us a meatloaf type situation. If we can get 2 out of 3, we won't be doing too bad.
And we'll be looking to submit results a couple of holes at a time to ensure consistent news flow.
Yeah, I think it's imperative that laboratories are working, as I understand it, efficiently and to time. But we'd like to be getting those results in, so we've got a steady workflow, steady work stream, and of course with that we get some news updates, and I think at the end that'll be the time for us to get a fuller picture of actually what's going on here. But of course we're cognizant that the market likes to have as much insight as possible, and that's something that we've done since joining the company.
Good to catch up, Mike. Speak soon. Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks, mate.